It's one of those days where you have no idea what on earth you're doing. Welcome to Wandering the Wild Mess with Heather Morgan. I am so happy you're here. This episode is going to be super vulnerable for me, and I want to take you along if you've ever had one of those days where you just felt absolutely lost. Absolutely lost. And I'm sharing this because I don't often have these days where I'm just completely overwhelmed with like confusion on my direction. I've done so much work, and I think a lot of people are more in tune with like the direction they want to go, and people are working towards that. And I hope you are. And if you are, I'm so proud of you. Growth is great. But I wanted to just remind how even as we grow and evolve and work to better ourselves, there's just days and times where we kind of get like slapped back to reality, as Delulu girl as I am. And you're just like, what? What am I doing? What am I doing? And that's really where I am today. And so I thought it would be good to kind of just dive in to that. So if you're someone hearing this and you're like, gosh, I have been going through it, I just hope you can understand and resonate with this and know that you are not alone, because we all have those days where everything seems to stop making sense. And I preach to my friends and people I meet all the time positive mindset, and everything always works out for me and all is good. And I truly, truly, truly believe that. But I need to show the other side of that, because it's not every day it's like that. And when these days hit you like a truck, you're just like, it feels like you are hiking up the mountain and you've just literally just started sliding down, and it just feels like such a backward progress and everything you've been doing. And as much as I know that's not true, and I'll get up tomorrow and move in the right direction, I think, although unplanned, of recording this, I just needed to share that this was a day where I felt that. And there's a lot of things, if you're someone that has, as an overthinker, has anxiety, or has like, for me, I'm definitely undiagnosed ADHD. My mind's all over the place all the time. And sometimes when those days happen, it can just be this really big spiral of like, what am I doing? What is happening? And I realized like, and I don't even want to call it this, but maybe it is like the PTSD from leaving my marriage comes back into play every single time I get in this space. And it's almost as if I blame my decision to leave my marriage on why I'm feeling this way. Like, Heather, if you would have just left your life the way it was, you wouldn't have this hard day, which I know logically isn't true. I had hard days when I was married. I had emotions. I had all of these things. I did overthink. It just was different. So sometimes I think it's easy for us to blame external or outside circumstances on why our life isn't looking the way that we feel like it should in any given moment. And for me, I'm not normally one to blame other people. I will take the blame myself. And so that's why I am blaming myself for leaving, as if that's what caused me this day of overwhelming emotions. And the crazy thing is like, I know I'm exactly where I need to be. I can logically think that, but this overwhelming emotions of feeling lost, feeling sad, feeling confused, feeling like I absolutely don't know what I'm doing at all is like kind of crippling in some ways. And I've never been the type to like not get out of bed and not, I got my run in. I'm like the sun was shining. Like I can fake it till I make it some days. But today just felt like one of those really overwhelming days. And there's just a lot going on in my mind and some upcoming travels that I have that are kind of making me feel certain feels. And I just want to make sure we all know that that's okay and that's normal. And that we just have to kind of fight through those really hard moments of feeling like everyone else has it figured out and we're like alone on an island and we're just like, what are we going to do? I think we're all alone on an island in some way or another. The island usually is our own minds, and we let it take us down all these different paths and make us feel inadequate or not good enough. And we focus on things and worry about things that don't give us anything but more of the problems we're worrying about. And I'm making a lot of big life changing decisions here in the near future, literally the next 3 months. And I realized that in order to do that and be in the positions I wanna be in and to share, like, my life and be the impact that I am and want to be, I have to let go of a lot of old things in my life or things that I like or enjoy or things that are familiar for me. And that I thought it would be easier because I did leave everything I always knew when I left Utah and my friends and my previous life, but I feel like we continually have to if we grow and evolve, we get reborn in a sense each time we do it, and we have to, like, let go of that old version of ourself, and that's why change is so hard. Not only is it changing our habits of our daily things that we do, which feel very uncomfortable to change our routine and our habits, but we also have to change how we view ourselves, the things we give our time and energy to. We have to really change so many aspects of our life to become the next version of ourselves. And it hit me today when I was discussing this with someone. That's the reason we usually stay the same. That's the reason why we don't evolve or change. It's not because we don't want to. I think there's good people that just, I know I need to change this and I really want to, but like wrapping their head around, like think about just me doing this, like wrapping your head around all of the things in your current life that will have to change in order for you to get there is a lot. And because I got divorced, I see that in that same view. Leaving a relationship, leaving a marriage, leaving any kind of like substantial routine, familiarity in your life and branching out into something new is scary AF. And we think we want it. It sounds like a great idea. And then it's like we get out the door and we're like, just kidding, going back inside. It's too scary out here. Like, it's never mind. This isn't what I wanted. And that's what it feels like a lot for me right now. I get all this courage. I'm so excited. We're doing the thing. And I hope you know what that feels like. You're so excited. We're doing the thing. You walk in and you're like, what the hell am I doing here? I can't do this. And that fear just overwhelms you. And you just want to like run back to everything you've always known. And I'm having one of those days where I know the things that I'm doing that are sabotaging my life in one way or another aren't bringing me the value I need and I'm continuing to sit with them because it's comfortable. And I think that's why we, like, kind of all, like, wait for the new year thinking about that, like, it's far enough in the distance that we're like, "Hey, when the new year starts, we're gonna change, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do," and while you're in that mindset of, like, that's why they say Monday never comes, right? Like, you're like, "On Monday, I'll start doing this. The new year, I'll start doing this." It's always like, "Not right now, but later, I'll change my life because I wanna do that." And if everyone was just happy who they were, they would never set goals or have a New Year's resolution or, say diet starts Monday. All of us in that way, majority of people set some sort of goals for themselves because they don't feel like where they are is where they wanna be. But the people that can actually tie in the habits and the behaviors and the changes that need to occur to accomplish those goals are so much less. And it's not because anyone is better than anyone at accomplishing goals. It's who can get comfortable being uncomfortable. Who can sit alone when they'd rather be in a crowded bar? Who can make the choice to not do the thing that isn't going to fulfill them in their long-term goals? It's a whole bunch of little tiny decisions that we have to make and little changes that completely just seem overwhelming when listed out to actually do all those things. And I wanted to share, like, this is just a lot of my growth. And really, this podcast, I'm wanting to connect with anyone who listens. But I also realize that I started this with the intention of being vulnerable and honest in my truth and hoping that that allowed others to feel as if they could do the same, that they weren't alone, that there's not this point in time in your life on the journey that you're going to have it all figured out or know what you're doing or feel like you've arrived. I think we were meant to always be growing and evolving. And we're going to have days where we're just not in the headspace to really show up for ourselves the way that we want to. And I feel like for me, that's a really hard truth because I definitely am hard on myself when it comes to my choices. And when I see things that I do or say that I know don't align with my feelings and values in life, I really, really beat myself up over it. And I so much wish I could just be one of those people, but I don't really wish I could be one of those people. But those people, and if this is you, but that you can just be like, I am who I am. And I always thought like that would be pretty nice. You are who you are. But then I thought, if you are, that's just how I am. That's how I'll always be. Then you aren't really open to like growing or taking any like feedback or understanding larger perspectives and how you are may impact people negatively. So now I'm not so envious of that, but it just would seem such an easier life. And I'm not sure if I hit this song before, but there's a line that says, you either pay to find love or you pay to be free. John Hart, great guy, great song. Cut him. And I feel like no matter what, there's a price to pay for whatever we want from life. And you can look at it this way, and maybe I'm convincing myself. Like when you think about pay to find love or you can pay to be free, either one that something has got to give. If I want to step in to this new version of me that wants to do all of these things, that wants to be this person. I have to let go of other things that make me feel comfortable right now, that make me feel good when I know they're not like long term what makes sense for my life. And I wish I could just find that balance. And I think that there you probably can in some way, shape, or form, but it's not really that simple. And I'll be honest, today was just a day where although I had a lot of productive things happen and get done, I've just been really hard on myself all day. So if you're being hard on yourself, I honestly always preach to all the people in my life, like, to give yourself grace. You're doing the best you can. And I'm trying to tell myself that, but I'm just like, "Heather, you got us here. What are you doing? Why are we in this funk? Why'd you do this to us? Why don't we just have it all figured out by now? When are you going to get there? When are you going to stop trying to be who you're not?" It's like my current self doesn't want to die. So she keeps telling me all these things to keep me there so that I don't become someone better. And I never really understood that as I never really saw it that way. And now I do. And it's crazy. I mean, it's the same reason why when you try to do big things in your life and you have friends that don't see the vision or don't have that same drive or don't have they're not on that same level of thinking as you, they try to kind of bring you back down to where they are. Because they're like, no, if that person succeeds or they get that, then they're going to be gone. They're going to be a different person. It's not going to be the friend I had. It's not going to be the person I knew. They're going to be different. And I don't want that. So I got to bring them back down. And we do that to ourselves. Like we're like, no, 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 no. It's not safe out there. It's not. You got to keep being this person. And I really want to say all this because if you're sitting in this like me, if you know the changes you want to make in your life, if you're thinking about it, I want you to really try to sit in the discomfort. If it's something in your heart that you want to do and you want to change, like believe that you're capable. I know a lot of us get conditioned, and these are things that I'm working through that, oh, you're not smart enough, or you're not this, or you were raised this way. You could never be that. There's just so much noise trying to keep us where we were. So many people throughout our lives that have maybe told us things that weren't necessarily kind to us. And we seeped that into our subconscious. And now we believe that we can't be something more than we are. And that's not true. We can. And so maybe this is all for me to just say that I w- now I'm holding myself accountable to do it because I want to look back on this and remember how this felt and show each of you, everyone that listens, that it's possible. And I know that there's a millions of people that have made big transformations and you hear their story, but you usually don't hear their story before they do it. You hear it after, and then it just kind of seems like, whoa. But like, this is like my before story. Before everything made a lot more sense. And if you're in your before story right now, just know that the next you, all the good things are coming. That you just have to choose you and do the things. That's literally as simple as it is, but it's so freaking hard. Like, it's so hard. It's one of those days where I'm just such a baby. We already know if you listen to the podcast, I literally have like wanted to cry like 8 times today. And I don't even know. I was telling one of my friends, like, I don't know why I think I get like addicted to being able to be an emo cowgirl or like relate to sad songs. Like I want to put a sad song on and be like, I feel that. Yeah. I feel that song, yeah. And I don't know why, because it doesn't necessarily make me feel good, but I enjoy relating to it. And as someone if you're someone that can I know many of us can feel that, like, you hear a sad song and you just wanna sit in it and you wanna feel sad with it. And it's like, why do we wanna be sad? I mean, maybe some days we just do. Maybe some days we just wanna be sad. I mean, I even remember, like, in my previous life, like, putting on a sad song and being like, "I wanna feel like this." Why? Why? Why do we wanna be sad sometimes? I don't know, and I hope everyone's not like that, but I think there are a lot of people that it just seems easier to relate to a sad song and stay in that place, because just being happy all the time seems like, how could that be? But I know that's what we're meant to do. I mean, we feel all emotions, don't get me wrong, but I don't think we have to be sad that much. I think we sometimes we feel it for a minute, but we choose to stay in it. We choose to stay in that emotion of sadness, even when it doesn't make us feel good. And I don't know why we do that. I don't know why. But I'll wrap this up by saying I definitely don't have it all figured out. I know I've been preaching lately all the positive vibes, all the great things. I still believe that. But I don't, this day, I do not know what I'm doing. And I have so many beautiful things in my life, and I'm still like, I'm running from everything. I feel like I'm just a runner. As soon as something makes me feel, I just want to run. It's like how I cope. I run and distract and travel somewhere. And then I tell myself, oh, on that trip, I'll get my mind right. And I hope I do. I know I will. But until then, if you're feeling lost, if you don't know what you're doing, if you don't know why, what's your purpose? I mean, I feel like I know what that is, but I don't know how to get there. But if you don't know your purpose, what you're doing, why you feel the way you feel, just know it will fall into place. I trust wholeheartedly it all works out for you, for me, for all of us. But it's okay to have these days. It's okay to feel like no one understands us. It's okay to feel alone. It's okay to want something that you know isn't good for you, but you just have to make the right choices. And when you make the wrong ones, you just have to give yourself grace. Every day is just a whole new journey. It's just a whole new opportunity to make your life better. So take advantage of it. Love the way you want to love. Focus on the things that make you feel alive. And just know you matter. This was Wandering the Wild Mess with Heather Morgan. You matter.